Well, good day, Sue. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Welcome to Floss Toss, episode 65. I am Rachel of Treehouse Fiber Arts.
And I'm Sue of Legacy Fiber Arts.
And here we are again in another episode, another lovely episode of our needlework adventures.
Yes.
Adventures in needlework.
I will tell you, Chelsea and I have got on a schedule, and oh my gosh, it's been podcasting, obviously. Um,
Mhm.
it's been so nice to just slide into it, slide out of it.
Did I dream? There's a new episode up this
Brand new.
morning.
We did it yesterday.
And did you have one last week?
Yeah, we're doing it weekly.
You are doing it weekly now.
We're trying. We're
Well,
trying. Next week is Easter, or this week coming up is Easter. So that's going to be, I mean, it's 2 days before, or well, not 2 days, 3 days, but Easter prep. I don't know why I have Easter prep. It's going to be like this tiny little thing, but I still feel like I need to do all the stuff.
yeah, right. I know Easter definitely. Although we're gone for Easter. We leave Friday. A week from today, we're going to Vienna, Austria. Did
How
I
do
tell you
I
this?
know this?
How can I not tell you this?
Tell me.
Yeah, it kind of came not out of the blue. We've been planning it. It's our last spring break with George, and you know how he went to Germany last year for the 6 week exchange.
Yes.
And we were looking at, should we drive down to Florida or one of the coasts for spring break? That's not our thing. We're not really beachy. We enjoy Hawaii, but I don't know.
Totally.
Anyway, so we met with another family we're friends with, and their son and George are really close and both speak German, through the German program. And so we're taking our boys and we just did an Airbnb. We got some good flights, direct flights that, were not too horribly expensive. And I mean, we're probably spending the same that we would if we went down to Florida right now
Oh,
and rented a place.
oh,
Yeah, so we're really excited. We're going to do all the sites like the castles of the Habsburgs, and there's an armor museum the boys are really interested in. They just want to practice their German, and I don't know.
so is it your whole family or you and George?
It's just the three of us, Brian, myself, and George. So I'm trying to figure out how to help Alex with Easter. I don't want him to be sitting alone.
Jake's
So
going to be home alone.
last year, my parents and brother went and picked him up from school, and because we were gone last year too for Easter. It's the
Oh,
last time.
yeah.
George is a senior, so
You
oh
froze.
no, I froze again.
You froze in a
Keep
great,
talking.
great position.
Uh,
Like,
I know. So I'm gonna stop my video and I'm gonna restart it. This might just happen
is it the snow, do
all
you think?
maybe. Oh, now I have no video.
You're gone.
Oh, good grief. Okay, let me.
Not
Oh,
laughing.
there we go.
There you
I don't
are.
know if it's the snow or what. I've never had that happen. It is a little treacherous here today. School's off, so uh yeah, the kid I just spoke about taking on spring break is upstairs sleeping above me. I'm sure he's listening in.
Oh, sure he is. Sure
He
he's
loves needlework.
he is. He's your artsy guy, though.
He appreciates it, sure.
Ah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so anyways, a week from Friday. I'm so excited.
Oh
Our
my
house, though,
gosh.
for any bad people out there, is very armed, dangerous dog.
Your in-laws are or your parents are coming
Yeah,
to stay. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That's
so I guess next time we're on Floss Toss, I'll have that to report.
so exciting. You're such well, you are and you aren't. Like you're an adventurous traveler.
This
Once
is a
you
lot for me.
yeah, I totally understand. I have trouble going to the grocery store lately.
I know. Well, when it rains, it pours because I was just in Portland, Oregon for the
Mhm.
Rose City Yarn Crawl a couple weekends ago. And
I
last
know.
weekend we went to Chicago. So,
That's our April. Our April is so full, so full. And it's like, ugh. And
yeah.
it's all good things. Like it's things I want to do, but there's too many of them. And we have the eclipse. We are in the direct line.
Oh,
of the
wow.
it's like the direct line. Look on a map, like St. Albans.
Yeah. Oh, that's so
So
cool.
yeah, so we start with that, which is really no big deal, but it's another thing.
Okay, when is the eclipse again?
I should know this because Lily told me yesterday because she has an itinerary for us of what we will
Oh,
be doing.
oh, how cool. Part of
Careful.
homeschool.
Yeah, she brought it to Costco's with us yesterday in case I needed to look at it a little more. So I knew there's cookie making involved.
Wow.
Yeah, it's very exciting, but they'll come up. I don't think Ben and Kristen are coming. I think they're going to be on the lake, like right on the lake. So I feel like they'll get a good view. It all depends on the weather, though. It may be
Oh,
nothing.
yeah. Well, doesn't it get really dark? I mean,
It's really dark. It's always really dark. Yep.
I
Well,
do remember we were in kind of a zone for some eclipse when we first moved to back to Michigan, and it didn't get dark here, but it got this really weird color for a while outside. I forgot all about that.
I remember that another time. Yeah. Yeah. And then I'm going, I haven't even told you this. I'm going to the Salem Yarn Festival. I know it's in April. It's like Tristan's
Cool.
gonna be there, so I'm so excited. I haven't even touched base with her to tell her. Thought maybe we'd surprise her. Going with Michelle, Chelsea and I,
Oh,
and
fun.
running down. It's being held in one of the Hocus Pocus buildings, and I mean, I don't know why it's in April, but I'm super
Yeah.
excited about it. Michelle had messaged me like, "Do you want to go?" And I was like, she's such a detail orientated person, which I appreciate so
Mhm.
much because I'm not. She had it all mapped out, like where we'd meet, how long it would take. And I was like, we're in, we're in. And then we're going to Quebec to see Noah Khan, who is just this amazing artist from
Mhm.
musician from Vermont. And you can't get anywhere near his shows. And Dave got us tickets. And
Oh,
we were for our honeymoon, we went to Old Quebec City and the Chateau Frontenac was there. And we're like, the next time we come, we'll stay there because we were so poor, like literally cut our honeymoon short because we were out of money, like dirt poor.
mhm.
And so Dave was throwing it around, like, should we stay there? And because the exchange rate is so good, it's not out, I mean, it's not cheap, but it's not outrageous.
Yeah.
We're gonna stay there for the night and
Oh, cool.
so it's all super fun things.
Yeah.
Plus, I have to fit in a trip to Connecticut right before the Salem festival that week. So it's a busy month, which is for me overwhelming.
So is the Salem thing a yarn crawl and you're going to different shops?
No, it's a yarn festival.
Oh, so it's in one location with booths.
Yeah.
Oh, how fun.
I'm so excited because Chelsea and I kept looking at it going, that'd be so fun. I wish we were still in Connecticut because it would be such an easy up and back.
Yeah.
But Michelle figured it out. For me, it's 4 hours up and back. We'll do
Hmm.
it in a day. I've done it a million times. I don't
Mhm.
care.
You'll
It'll be
be chatting the whole way there and the whole way back with
yeah, it's
Michelle.
three of us. So it'll be really, really fun.
Oh my gosh, that sounds like fun. And Chelsea can go by herself.
Yeah,
She
just
doesn't,
the
oh,
three of us.
that'll be so nice for her.
I know. I know. Yeah, just
Really?
the three of us will share driving, so we'll all get knitting time, and it's just gonna be nice.
Oh, that sounds so much. That sounds like so much fun.
Yeah.
I know we had a great time in Portland, the three of us. My friend Joyce, Ruby Moss Cottage, that's her handle on Instagram, and then her friend Julie. And Julie was a riot too. And we just, oh my gosh, we had the best time. I don't know if I have we flossed
I don't
since
think so.
getting confused what I talked about on I
You
recorded
get a
a Treehouse
regular.
Fiber Arts episode and talked about that. So if you're interested more in the Portland crawl, I talk about it at the end of the Treehouse Fiber Arts podcast. But it's
Yeah.
just so nice to get away and it's inspiring. You'll come back inspired. You need that. I think you
I
need that.
That is the piece of it is I don't, and I know that like when I don't get out enough,
Yeah.
it's like you just get into this funk.
Hmm.
But I do not, it's so funny. Why do we move to Vermont? I hate the cold, but I love the cold as long as I don't have to go outside. Like I
Yeah.
like to know it's freezing out and I'm cozy in my house.
It is a comforting feeling. I know
Yeah,
today when they said no school, the idea of, you know what, I'm not going to go out there.
yeah,
George isn't leaving. Of course, Brian
yeah,
had to go to work.
yeah.
We'll send
But
him out.
oh, you and George. Oh, that's so fun though.
Yes, we'll have a great time. I wish Alex could come too, but that'll
Yeah.
be next time, maybe.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh,
I think we get in this, we're trained to think that once our kids finish high school, they're never going to want to be with us again. This is our last time to do this and this.
yeah.
Like our kids are our friend group.
Yes.
They
That's
really are.
wonderful.
Like we spend a lot of time together.
Hmm.
But it's not like, oh, we have to, we want to.
Yeah.
And if we don't
Yeah.
want, we say, nah, we're busy today.
Right.
And we love their friends. Like I love their friends.
That's huge.
Yeah, it's
I love that. I know
yeah.
it's fun to see your kids growing up. It
Hmm.
really is fun to see. Anyways, we
Yeah,
digress.
we did.
So yes, I'm excited for you for that Salem knitting thing because I know it was so inspiring for me. And I mean, I have so many projects, knitting projects now, and I'm not going to talk about knitting. I on this podcast today, save it for my next episode of Treehouse Fiber Arts
It's
because it's
so
too
hard
much.
because so many floss tubers are now knitting and sharing their knitting content too, which I love.
I do too.
The hard part is when you have both podcasts, it becomes redundant. So I try to be
Yes,
careful about that. I
right.
mean, you didn't for a while because you weren't doing your other podcast.
Right. So now I'm
I
back
know.
in the swing of things. Yeah, so I did a video and I did a unboxing of my new
I didn't
Chiago.
watch that. I got to. Do you love them?
I've never done an unboxing, so I thought, oh, I'm going to give it a try. It was actually really fun because I love people. I love watching people unbox things and get their initial reactions. So,
Yeah.
yeah, this is quite a set. The Chiago Forte 2.0. It's a pre-Mother's Day gift for me from Brian. So I'm just starting. I'm trying the needles out now with here I'm talking about knitting with Helen Stewart's new mystery knit along. Yeah, I haven't done a shawl in a long time. And the mystery knit along, I've never done a pie shawl. It's a circular shawl. But I don't
Yeah.
know how to even wear those. So it'll be interesting. I'm happy to try it and have one. And but it takes a lot of yarn and it takes four skeins of fingering weight yarn, and I could pull it all from my stash. There's also a Stephen West pattern that I want to give a try to. It's a kind of an undulating shawl, and it takes four skeins of fingering weight too. And I can pull from my stash all my beautiful hand dyeds from folks like you.
So
So,
great. I
yeah.
last night, this is so funny. So I went on YouTube to see if because I didn't know Chelsea hadn't texted me yet to say when our video was going to drop.
Hmm.
So I just checked, and one of our original podcasts came up from 8 years ago. It was episode 6. Oh my God. So I sent it to Chelsea, and we were dying, dying. It's like, oh my God.
You
It
guys
was
were in your old house in the basement, right? Or no?
No. Oh, Chelsea and Justin were living with us at
Yeah.
that point. It was right before they moved up here. It was at 7:30 at night. What do I do at 7:30 at night?
Guess podcast when it was in your youth.
Oh my God, we had Isabel and she was barking because Dave was out of town and
Oh,
she was a protector, and then Justin was supposed to be in charge of them, I think, and they kept showing up. Romo was wandering around barking. It was hysterical. And we're
hasn't changed. Just
talking.
same women, different dogs,
Oh
except for
my
Romo.
God. Well, same dog for Chels, but
Yeah.
different for me for sure. And
Yeah.
we were like, we were talking about Shannon of Socksetra, which she doesn't podcast anymore, but we loved her. And we're like, yeah, she's in Vancouver. Like, so we could go visit her. No, where's Vancouver? Do you know where Vancouver? Like,
Oh my gosh.
it was so funny.
I'm sure I watched that one 8 years ago.
We were dying. But yeah.
Oh, how funny.
So I know we've both been knitting a lot,
Yes, but I've been doing some punch needle, and I wanted to share with you a fun little project with embroidery hoops
which
and
I can't wait.
crochet.
I have five pieces to show.
Okay, let's start with you.
Okay.
The
So
people have waited long enough.
I didn't even remember I did this time, but I did. When these came, I couldn't wait.
Oh gosh. Look at Lolly.
Oh my
No.
God.
Who is the Lolly
Lolly,
Claus?
Lolly
Yeah.
Claus. Again, you're not getting how gorgeous it is. It is, I should have finished it. I kind of forgot. I put it in my basket.
Yeah.
So that one, and then these are the ones I can't remember if I showed them last time, but I got from you and you have in your shop now.
Yeah, and I think I have Lolly too.
I can't wait to start this one.
I know. Oh, gosh, every time you show yours, I'm like, why am I not doing it? Maybe July, I always want to do Christmas stitching
Yeah,
and
I
stuff.
get it.
So
And then Santa Cruiser, I
oh,
started.
that
Again,
just makes me smile.
me too. But if I just saw this in a shop, I'd pass it by. Just because I don't, oh
Hmm.
no, that's all I
Yeah.
did.
Ooh,
Ooh, isn't it beautiful?
it's so fancy. I wouldn't pass that by if
I
I
know.
saw it in a shop.
So I'm in love with them. I'm a broken record when it comes to these. I love them. And I love
Mhm.
when they're beautiful on a tree. They're beautiful. They're just beautiful.
Satsuma.
Satsuma.
Yeah, so did you put up, I forget if you showed off your holiday tree this year, and if you did you have some of your ornaments on it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I think I did a few reels over on the Crooked Fiber Farm feed
Okay. Oh yeah.
where I think I zeroed in on them. They look so beautiful on a tree.
They really do. I saw them at last year's Nashville Needlework Market on trees and in their room, and
They're
that's what made me
beautiful.
want to carry them in my shop.
They're beautiful, and I can't tell you how much I love using that adhesive felt velvet like backing. As someone who is not a finisher, it's so easy and it's so fast and it's so beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't feel like I'm compromising. It's what I
Hmm.
would do whether it was hard or easy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Just get yourself a good pair of sharp snips to get
yes.
around all the grooves because you
Yeah.
literally just lay the piece of square over it and then trim around, right?
Yes, that's all I do. I cut it down. I'm strategic. The more I do it, I'm very strategic. So I can do it the easiest, cleanest way.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's snipping, 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 and then cut like one row at a time, but they come off really easy. That's the most
Mm-hmm.
effective way. So snip top, bottom, remove, and
Mm-hmm.
not hard. If
Boom.
honestly, if I can do it, anyone can do it. I'm not a finisher.
Yeah. All right. What else do you have?
Okay, so on the Christmas theme, so I have my friend's daughter who had the little boy, Jack, who I made the stocking for, is pregnant again with another little boy. And I was one of the first. She's so sweet. Like she wants these stockings so bad.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, she can't call me Sue. She's one of those. It's like, Mrs. Stokes, I'm pregnant. Like, you know what that means, right?
Fire up the needles.
I know. And I can't not. I love this girl so much. So I went
Uh,
to 1, 2, 3 stitch because I don't have anything up here.
mhm.
I just click the order all except for
They
fabric.
they make it so easy.
They make it so easy. I probably had some of these, but I was like, you know what? I need to keep this simple. So I wanted to do a really different one. So I ordered this one. So I got the charms, all the flosses, a lot of specialty that if I was in Connecticut,
Mhm.
like a lot of weeks dye works, which adds a lot to the cost. These are not like they're crazy expensive to make. By the
Mhm.
time you finish them, they're crazy, but
Mhm.
I love them. So there's only on here 5 DMCs and all the rest are dye works, pearl, weeks dye
Mm.
works, which they give you the corresponding DMC. Probably in Connecticut, I would have just picked the big areas for the
Yes.
dye works and bought those. But you know what? I was like, I don't have time for that. I want to get
Yeah.
started. So
Well, when you know it's a keepsake, it makes you feel better. It's not
yeah,
just,
it's so appreciated. It's not, it's so appreciated. And I know that. So I had my fabric. I forgot what it is. Cork linen, maybe.
Oh my gosh, how far did you get?
I know.
That's
This is only like
amazing.
2 days. It's so fast.
Wow. That looks
Yeah,
amazing.
I love it. So I'm in such a quandary because everything I'm working on is all I want to work on. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, oh, this is all I want to work on. I'm going to say that to every single piece.
Hmm.
I love it.
I love it too. And it's got a sheep.
It's got a sheep. It's very whimsical.
Hmm.
It's I love it. I just love it. And I love making them. I do get tired of them, but it's been a while, so I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah.
So I have that. Do you want to
Okay.
show something?
You keep going.
Okay,
This is
I'm going to
fun.
show one more thing that will lead to what you want to talk
Okay.
about.
Sounds good.
So I I'm really struggling with working on one thing for 2 weeks, the thing I declared. I'm just struggling. But
Yes.
did I get this from you? I can't remember.
I no, I don't think so.
No?
I don't think
Okay,
I've
I don't
carried
know
that
where
one.
I got it, but I love Barbara Anna. When I was in school, I went to art school. I'm sure we've talked about that. I'm very whimsical. My illustration work was very whimsical. Everything I do, I can't get away from that. I think that's just who I am.
Mhm.
So I love her designs so much. And I had
Yeah.
all the floss because I think I started it, but I don't remember any of it, but
Hmm.
it's on Nor'easter, which I love.
Hmm.
I think it's perfect for this. So,
Wow.
what I want to do is what you're going to talk about. I want to put it in a circle hoop
Hmm.
and do that crochet around it. We're going to open that up
Hmm.
for you to show and talk about
Hmm.
with oh my,
I
is
just
it going to be magnificent?
I stuck a piece of fabric, but I could see something a little less bright, like a peachy color
Peachy,
uh
even your blue.
maybe-
Oh my gosh, look at I want
or
to
I
make
just shoved stuff in. They're not
see,
perfectly
I'm
clear to me.
tempted by that tealy color.
Yeah, well, if we could match I'm pointing to it. That leaf color would be pretty.
Yes, that's what I was thinking. So, anyways,
Yeah.
that's what I want to do. So, talk about those and talk about how do you adapt the pattern to how big the hoop is? I'm assuming
Well,
that's it.
there's really no pattern. This is a big one because I had this happy thoughts one done. This is a stitch. I think I still have some of these embroidery kits in the shop.
I have those.
Um, Tamar, she's an Israeli designer. I love her stuff. And so I had this just in an ugly hoop, and I had it actually right there on the wall. And I didn't quite know what I was going to do with it. And then I want to say a year or so more, even more than a year or so ago, I saw this idea on Pinterest. And I always had it in the back of my head, wanted to do it, but just never was totally inspired to do it. And then the Lori Holt chunky thread
I
with
need
her crochet hooks. Her chunky thread is really it is chunky thread. It is like floss, like DMC floss in a chunky version, spun a little tighter.
can't
So
even
it looks like doily.
yeah, I can't
Um,
envision that weight. I can't wait. I've got it once the punch needle comes to
yeah,
fruition.
it's a
Oh, great.
sport weight. It's technically a sport weight. Let me pull a pretty
So
color.
sport is heavier than fingering.
Yes, just a little bit.
Yeah.
And
That
but
color would look fantastic on there.
yeah, it would. I had so many Lori Holt colors that would work. This one I decided to do the first round that covers the hoop in this chartreusey green color of Lori's, and then I pulled kind of a tealy on the outside. But yeah, these are so much fun. I am going to make a tutorial on YouTube, I think, for them because they go fast. You can make one I mean, you can make a small one. Like I think this was my first one. And this is a different, let me get that in there.
So
This
where
is
are
a
you getting
different,
the patterns from?
I'm not. I'm I am, I mean, I look for edging, crochet edging.
Mhm.
And I went on YouTube and I just Googled edging and I found this one where, once I'll show you in my tutorial how I crochet around the hoop to cover it. Then you have stitches that you can work from.
And you
And
pick
I
them.
just did this like scalloped border around it. And for the bigger hoop, this is an 8-inch hoop. I felt like it needed a little something more. So this took a little bit longer, but what a fun project. And I could probably spray some sort of
Yeah,
starch if I wanted to make it
you
less
wanted to.
floppy. But honestly, once you put it on the wall, it doesn't move.
Yeah.
It might be nice. I was thinking I would block this one and pull out the points a little bit. I'd spray it maybe with some water, maybe starchy water. I don't know. I've even seen people use Elmer's glue. They
Brush
completely
it.
submerge it into glue and then it dries clear. I don't know if they're thinning the glue, but Elmer's
Must
glue
be.
is supposed to work too. But yeah, I mean, basically, and I'll show you in the tutorial. You just, you know,
So I have all of the blue designs. Remember,
yeah,
uh, I'm starting to not be able to find things. Like I'm remembering things that I had in the movie.
yeah.
I can't find them, but I really want to do that for those more than anything.
I mean, you could do it in like, I think
Yeah.
it's close to that blue.
Hmm.
Yeah, I just have a bunch of Lori's colors. These actually are a good segue. So back to the frames. First of all, you could also put the frame like this in one of those
Yes.
modern hoopla stands, and then it would cover, you have this issue of this turny thing here. What do you call that? Can't think of the name. But
I
I mean,
know.
I just ignore it. That's how you hang it. I tried putting a little bow over it, or you could put a brooch kind of thing. Whatever you do, whatever you want to do, if you want to cover it or not. You can also buy those circular hoops they don't have this. It's just all done by pressure, by tension,
Yeah,
because you're not stitching in that hoop necessarily. You're just using it for finishing. You could
right.
just buy one of those cheap ones that don't have any turn.
Well, that's my thought. Like because you're covering them, because my thing was I wanted to put all those in a hoop, but I wanted them in the Hardwick Gorgeous hoops. But
No, I honestly I used my cheapest hoops. So and it is awesome because we all have those cheap hoops we started out with
yeah,
that we
well, I
didn't care
don't.
for. I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of us do. And if you don't, you can just go to your big box store online. I'll have some too in my shop. I mean, and for less than $3, you can get an inexpensive hoop. And I'll be honest, the hoops that weren't as smooth actually are easier to cover and the yarn stays in place because it's a little rougher. They're almost better for this project.
I want to do it so badly.
Yeah.
It's like such an economical, but yet really uniquely gorgeous way to do it.
And it's so fun. I've gotten a few edging books from the library. I mean, there's those crochet edging.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you have to be careful because many of them are for blankets and they're square. So if you're trying to, you need something that's going to turn the corner kind of nice.
So did you find you had to do some math around it, or you just went for it and swish?
Well, this one, for example, I just went for it. So I started here, and
Hmm.
when I got to the end, I only had enough stitches to do a tiny one. You
Hmm.
see how this scallop is littler than all the
It
rest?
doesn't matter.
So,
Well,
but now I know, like, I think for my tutorial, I'll do a 3-inch hoop and I will mention, how many you need around to
right.
make all of these work. So
Yeah.
I'll probably do a tutorial for this style.
Yeah, there's going to be those people that mathematically will figure it out and those
Oh,
that
yeah.
will just go for it.
Yeah, and I'm not sure. I don't know if I'll make a pattern or not. That sounds a little intimidating because I've never made a crochet pattern. I've done knitting patterns.
Oh, I think you could in a minute.
Maybe I won't call it a pattern. I'll call it a suggestion. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
But I have to say,
Love
these
those.
Lori Holt crochet needles are great. I love the grip. It's this really
Is it
nice grip.
is it like
it's not spongy, but it's not
Hard.
hard either.
Yeah.
It's just right. It's just right. And the shanks are really long, this neck part, and you need that for, some of these where you're holding, I don't know. I found I needed that extra length shank, and I love the tip is pointy, but not too pointy, but not pointy. I hate the not pointies because you can't
Same.
get in.
Oh,
But
yeah.
the two pointies, I have a set that, or I have a one needle that's two pointy and it splits through yarn. Although I find this does not split. A lot of times cotton yarn splits when I'm crocheting it, and I don't like it because it's not stretchy like wool.
Mhm.
But
Oh,
this, for some reason, feels great when you're
cotton
crocheting it.
yarn is a whole different animal when it comes to using because there's no pliability to it at all.
Yeah, I feel like this has a little bit, but there's no nylon in this. It's
Yeah.
100% cotton. It's wonderful.
So
I'm so
tell,
curious how it washes because these colors would be so fun for washcloths.
yes. Tell me, do you have the crochet hooks in a set or do you
I
sell them
do. This is
individually?
the set that I sell in my shop,
Only three?
and I have all of these colors in the shop now. I'm going to keep adding. These actually are the colors for her summer and fall punch needle collections that I will be talking about a little bit later, but I have pre-orders up
Wait.
on my shop right now for the full kit, which is the yarn you need for the summer and the pattern that you need.
Okay.
We'll
I need
talk about that later.
okay, yeah, I need that. I didn't realize it was up.
Yeah, but in my shop I've got the crochet hooks if, for
Okay.
this project, for the fun little thingamajiggers. I love this one.
I love them all. I love,
Hey.
again, like not everything we do warrants professional framing.
No.
And but yet you don't want it to look, you know what I mean? Like you still want it to look really gorgeous. And
Yeah.
the option for those pieces,
Yeah, you want it to look finished. And the three blue ones you did of the girl in the boat, and they're very dreamy and pretty. And it's just blue and white, right? Blue, it's just blue on the.
blue and then the white background. And but I think there's maybe three shades. Like there's a darker, a light,
Okay.
and a medium, maybe.
Okay. It's
I
Ocean Princess, Tamar.
and I
I think
haven't
the one was Ocean
finished.
Princess.
I wish I
Yeah,
had.
that would be stunning with, you could do the same border, or you could do three different crochet borders using the same chunky thread. And yeah, that'd be so cute in the girls' room.
I know that's what I'm thinking. I'm
Mhm.
thinking here in their room slash guest room.
Yes. That's even
I
better idea.
got, oh my gosh. So have I told the story how we couldn't get the giant box spring up the stairs because our stair, I mean, it's a
Oh
very,
no, you were getting the bed,
yes.
but I didn't hear about
So
that.
we couldn't get the box spring up. So they said, you got to get a queen size cut in half. So I just jumped on Amazon and got it. Well, the box springs were like 4 inches. So the bed was like
What?
8 inches off the ground. And Jake is mainly the guest that stays there beside the girls. And so I was like, I can't look in that room. Plus, when the girls are here, it's really uncomfortable to get in and read to them. It's so low to the ground.
Oh yeah.
So I went and I ordered the 8 inch one. So now it's 12 inches off the ground. And it got here the second night Jake was here last week. And
Oh,
he was like, oh my God, Mom, this is a whole different ball game. So, so
Brian and I started Shogun on Hulu last night, and
Chelsea
I mean,
loves
it
that.
reminds me of they're like sleeping on these mats that are so low to the ground, and they're, an 80-year-old doing that. I don't know how, and there's no furniture. They just always kneel, and
Chelsea,
they're old, and I'm thinking I could not, I
oh,
guess.
well, and we have just the opposite. Our bed is so high. I'm not kidding you. I have a stool to get up into bed. I'm not kidding you. I can't do it otherwise.
You're like extremes in your
Yes.
house.
Yes. It's so high.
That's funny.
The boys, Chelsea too, all of them made these stools in woodworking in middle school, and that's what I use. We have two of them, so the girls use them, but
You're
yeah.
such a princess getting up into your big bed.
Do you hear our train?
I think so.
That's quiet. It usually blares
I
through.
love that.
I do too. I love our train, especially in the winter. I love it.
Yeah. Oh, good.
So I think for this one, I might go that route, depending on how big it ends up being, but I
Mhm.
love it.
Yeah, the style of those, I'm sure we could find, this border is kind of grandma's house antique, which I love. But I'm wondering for that, for Barbara Anna, I guess could come
I
up with
feel
something.
like that one, but maybe not as well, it depends on the size, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
I could see a little more like air, like
Yeah.
one is a little
Like
more
more
airy.
more modern
Yeah.
border. You could even do like you can crochet pom-poms that you fill in and have like pom-poms around the border, depending on your whatever, you got to look at what you're framing and decide what style.
Well, you also could look at a doily, which I have a whole book on doilies because I wanted to make black ones for Halloween.
Yes.
You could look at a doily book and look at the rounds and see if anything in there. It's so funny. I've been craving crochet again.
I love it. It's having its moment again too. It's very popular.
Yeah.
Very popular right now. And yeah,
Yeah.
very
I'm
cool.
kind of all
All
about it. I really, really love it. And
right, show your next thing.
okay. So then I joined, I didn't really, because I don't really do Sal's, but
That is
Sharon, knit
so pretty.
style or stitch style, Sharon
Hmm.
started it on leap year. She is using all the silks, and I was not going to do that just because I didn't. I think she was like, I had a bunch, but there's a lot. And you know me, I love my DMC. I have no problem. I love working with it, everything. So, first of all, look,
Look
I
at
use
you.
my stitch cards. They don't really go with the piece, but I couldn't wait to use them.
They're
And
so pretty.
they're so pretty. So they're from that Stitch Co. something.
It's on
Anyway,
another episode of ours. Well, let me see the
yeah,
bling on your card.
that's the thing. It's about the bling.
Yeah. Oh, isn't that pretty?
Every time I pick this up and hear that sound, I
Yeah.
am very sound craft orientated, like knitting needles.
Hmm.
Even though it's not like it used to be where like our grandmothers, you could hear their hollow
Yeah.
metal needles.
You
Like
can still hear it.
this this isn't all the colors. It's most of them.
Wow. That is a
I,
lot.
there's a lot. I do this as I need the color. I don't have the patience to get it like, oh, I'm going to get them all. No, I just want them stitched. I don't want to do that.
I'm the same way. When I decide I need a color, then I make it on the card. Oh, isn't that's so unique? I've never,
Very
it's like,
different. It's
yeah.
very coloring book like to me, very Art Nouveau, which I like Art Nouveau, where you kind of outline and then you fill in. You outline and you fill in. Again, you're not seeing how beautiful it is.
It's a good picture
It is.
though.
I'm kind of mad at myself because again, I think I ordered the entire kit on 1, 2, 3 stitch.
Mm-hmm.
And their shipping is so fast. Like I get it
Mm-hmm.
with 3 days usually, which a week tops. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I ordered the 40 count Newcastle, which I didn't have a big enough piece anyways. They sell you way more than you need. Like it's like a half yard,
Mm-hmm.
which is fine. It'll never go to waste. But I was kind of mad at myself because like I could have gotten it for a lot cheaper if I had it. But what I want to talk about is what a difference between dyed and undyed as far as seeing and the not seeing as much as the obviously when you dye it, it shrinks down. The
Mm-hmm.
no shrinkage on a 40 count is way different.
Huh.
Way,
Interesting.
way different. It's like, how is this 40 count? And I can see it so well, and it's just more open
Mm-hmm.
and it's full coverage. So why do anything to it but use the original?
It's full coverage.
Full coverage.
You're gonna be doing brown thread. Oh my gosh,
Full
that
coverage.
looks crazy.
But again, it's so coloring book. You do all the things and then you fill in the background.
See, I thought that was on a brown fabric.
Nope. You could
Wow,
do that. You easily could do a fabric where you're not, it's so old
incredible.
school, unique.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it's a lot about the process. I'm really becoming more of a process person than a
Mm-hmm.
product. Like
Mm-hmm.
there's just sometimes I see something that just looks fun to do. And this has been one that's been on my list. So when Sharon started, I was like, you know what? I'm really all about treating myself right now because life is so hard. Not really. But just feeling like, oh, you know what? I need a little something.
Wow, pretty. I cannot believe you're going to fill that all in.
I can't either, but I'm
That,
enjoying it.
mhm.
So
That's
yeah.
good. Good.
Yeah. I have one last thing. 103, which, oh my gosh. Like if I had a shop around here that had these, I would be like, I find it a little intimidating because there's so many different ones. And I'm never sure what number, like Katie Strachan uses something, and then they
Yeah.
all have them. And I'm like, I don't know enough about these threads, but I
Yeah.
really, really like it. And it's a little, I'm going to flash it. I'm pretty sure it was a free pattern. It's a Blackbird Designs 2009 Petite Letters Rouge, Lettres Rouge. I don't know.
I think that is a free one.
Yeah.
Pretty.
So I was like, one day I was just in the mood and I really am wanting small pieces.
Me too.
I'm really wanting them, yet I can't seem to commit. I'm just in a zone right now, but look
Hmm.
at this.
Mm,
And
my
I think
gosh.
it's like 46 or 50 count.
Wow.
Not bad, not
Undyed.
undyed.
Yeah. Or no.
I think it's dyed, but
Or
not,
no.
well, it doesn't really matter color wise. It's more what the dye process does to the fabric.
Yeah.
But super fun. This was just one afternoon. I was just feeling like
Doing a little red work.
I love redwork samplers. I want them all over my
Yeah.
house, and I don't have one.
They're so pretty.
And then I watch these podcasts where it's like, and this was a free pattern over on their website. And
Yeah.
there's so many free patterns, but I've got to start writing them down because I think I'll remember. But like Not Forgotten Farms has some.
You know, what you need to do is come up with your favorite designers, go to their specific
Yeah,
websites, and they always have a tab that says freebies or
that's what I have to do.
yeah, because that's where I found that Blackbird one.
Yeah, and they're so sorry about that noise. They're
That's okay.
small, they're fun, they're different, and my house is calling for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
Well, that's fun. You've been stitching.
I I'm going through spurts.
Yeah. Well, I've been punching. I wanted to test out how Lori's chunky thread
Let me see.
punched.
I'm
Well,
freezing.
so sorry about the only negative thing I have about these Yazzi bags is uh, it's too big. The Velcro is too big. Like I just feel like it's such a big ordeal to open, and that is such a pathetic thing. Like really, Rachel.
Oh,
Like
I get it though.
I'm being so nitpicky, but this is just so much Velcro that I
It,
can't like I'm gonna
I'm
just sneak in
not
a little punching.
I am not familiar with this bag at all. Have we talked about them?
Well, Yazzie.com. I had a coupon. I don't know how I got a coupon for Yazzie, and they were having a big sale a while ago. And I've never tried these Yazzie bags that have all of the compartments and zippers.
Kind of remember now.
Wonderful, I have to say. And I've loaded this one up with all the punch needle accoutrements because I can pop in the fabric of a punch needle in here as well as in this side. So I can have two projects going with all the floss that I need. And I've got a compartment for my needle and the threader and the extra needles and a compartment for my scissors. And this is if I need to twist my hoop a little stronger so it stays in place. I have my punch needle directions in here. I mean, it's just, it holds everything.
That's so
So
good because storing punch, for me, it's like when you start punch needle, you have to finish it or you've got it everywhere.
yes, that
So
was,
I
and I
like
didn't
that.
want that to happen. So I've got a bag like this, and I'll show you how else I carry everything. But first, I just found this. I think I Googled this, I think was a stained glass
I love
picture
it.
because I know with my mom with stained glass, she's a stained glass artist, and she just finds these patterns and they're perfect for punch needle too.
So
So I thought, oh, cute. That's got a lot of open space and I don't, it's just simple and it's round. And so I put in the Lori Holt fabric and I just started punching away. This is the bad side. So this, and I'm learning with this thicker, because I'm used to punching with DMC. With this
yeah.
chunky thread, it takes up more space. So I'm punching a little too dense, I'm finding in this. And
Oh,
I'm
I
sure
have
Lori's going to
that.
talk about
Oh,
that. So
Rachel.
and my first punching was done, on these branches, and I had it set on the Ultra Punch to a 2, and it was just a little too short. So I changed to a 4 for the rest of it. Again, this is just my playground. I'm not planning on this being a masterpiece,
So,
but
so to practice like that.
it
Oh, Rachel, so
just
fun.
so fun. Lori's colors are fabulous. Yeah. So I
Now,
was just playing around with practicing, the shading and different colors. And I don't know, just having fun. The Morgan hoop works so well for this. I have it on the bigger size. I used to carry Morgan hoops in my shop, but I just cannot sell them and make any profit because you can get Morgan hoops with a coupon, at Joann's or Michael's or Hobby Lobby or Amazon has them for like I mean,
yeah,
it's just not worth it for
yeah.
me to have
That's
it.
it's
On that being said, if you cannot find one of these stands anywhere that you live, I'm happy to order some for people.
yes.
But
So
um
tell me this, is it a little more taxing on your hand using the heavier thread and your wrist?
I think so.
I
I
would
think
think
it's a little more taxing, although this is a nice sharp. I have these Ultra Punches come in 3 needles. You get 3 needle sizes with them, and I have the large needle in my Ultra Punch set to a 4. And I find when I'm doing DMC, I could punch this whole thing. My hand would be a little sore, and the next day my shoulder, because I'm not used to that movement, might be
Mhm.
a little sore. This was just my day. I didn't spend the whole day doing this. This was just maybe like an hour of punching, and
Mhm.
I need to take a rest.
Yeah.
Definitely, it's a little harder.
It's so funny because when I learned to needle punch, I went to a shop in Massachusetts and I got all the materials and I was so fast. I was just like bing,
Mhm.
bing, 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 bing. I since then, and I did a ton. I have a ton that are done and I could do them in a day, like literally in a day.
Mhm.
I've never gotten that back. Like
Mhm.
since I started again, I've never gotten that like rhythm and speed and flow.
It
It's
is a
interesting.
flow that it takes practice because when you first start, you're not as even with
Hmm.
your punches. You really have to go all the way down and up and slide without lifting it high when you're going out. And I finally got to that point where you can tell on here where I started and where I didn't.
Oh, I was like a machine. I'm telling you, I don't know
Yeah.
how the loops were beautiful. I didn't overthink anything.
hmm This made me really think I want to get one of those bigger punches so I can use chunkier yarn and do some pillows.
Yeah, I
'Cause
want to do the what is the hook?
yeah, it's Oxford
Yeah.
punch. I need to get one of those. I've always thought about it,
I,
but
one of
I think
those.
that'd be fun. And I wonder too, when you're using yarn with an Oxford, you're using a monk's cloth, right?
I think
That
so.
has more holes. The weave
Yeah,
is much more open and it might be easier.
it is. That's what oh gosh, I'm not remembering correctly, but I think that's what I use for rug hooking.
Mm.
And I know I use burlap on some, which I don't like it. A lot of people hate burlap. I don't love it. I use monk's cloth, I'm pretty sure.
Mm. Yeah. So I have right now, I'm getting so excited for Lori's thing. Lori Holt, Be in My Bonnet, has a punch along starting in July, and I'm carrying kits for her summer design and her fall design. I think she'll probably be using her summer design for the summer punch along. But I'm just waiting for the actual patterns, and those do not arrive until June. So I have things in stock now. But if you know you want to join in, I put a reservation for the kit, the full kit, which is the pattern, all the 20 or 21 skeins of yarn you'll need for all 6 patterns that are part of her pattern booklet. That is on my website right now to reserve a spot. So I just have it where you just pay $25 now or 24, I forget what I did, to reserve, and then I'll just send an invoice out for the remainder when it ships. So I'm trying that for the first time. I've never done a reservation before. I also have, I think I got maybe 10 or 20 of it. I forget how many I ordered of punch needles are in the shop. I've got Lori's weaver's cloth, which is she made or had made specifically for her chunky weight, or her not chunky weight, her chunky thread yarn. That's in the shop too. So if you want to get started and just have some fun, you can get started and practice a little bit.
So if you reserve it, you get the pattern and the yarn. You don't get the cloth and the punch is you order on your own.
If you reserve it, the cloth is also included too. So it's
Okay.
thank you. It's the pattern, it's the 21 skeins of yarn to cover all 6 patterns in the booklet, and the weaver's cloth, a yard of the weaver's cloth, which is all you need for all of the patterns. And you can see all the patterns. Maybe I'll pop up some pictures here while we were talking, but they're in my website on the
So
listing.
I'm curious, how are you feeling about like the what you've done so far? Does it eat up a lot of yarn?
No, I feel
Okay.
like that's a very good question. I feel like you're going to have a lot of yarn left, which you can make into cute little frames if you want.
Yes. Or
And
make
also,
more
many
than
of the
one.
colors that are in the summer are in the fall. So if you get the summer kit, you will be well on your way to having enough yarn for the fall kit. You'll just need to buy a few other skeins of some of these fall colors, or the oranges are
So
in that.
when we reserve it, I'm asking all the dumb questions.
No, go
We
ahead.
reserve it. Are we reserving the spring kit and the fall kit? Is that how it's reserved?
You're reserving just the summer.
Oh, just
And
as
then you can buy the fall on its own. But I
okay.
thought just for the punch along with Lori,
That's
I'm just going to do
confused.
summer kits.
Yes. Okay. All
Yeah.
my questions have been answered.
Thank you for those questions, because I never know what people are going to ask.
Well, I always have a million questions.
So
So
back to the organization. I have my green little bag, like this. And then I have this kind of basket with my thread in it. And this is how it sits.
I love it.
So it's not all over the place. That's a big deal to me. I don't like in my living room because I like to do this, at night or watching a show or whatever. And I just don't like pieces parts all over the place.
You're speaking to the woman who today is getting rid of all the pieces, parts in her wool room, and I am starting to put things away that have been still packed that are just driving me crazy. And
Yeah, you said you were going to do organization in your wool room.
I wish I could convince Chelsea to come up because I'm it's not my forte at all. Because all of a sudden I'm going to be sitting stitching or knitting. I know it.
Mm.
I'll be like,
Well,
I'll do that tomorrow.
yeah. Do you feel
But
like you have enough like bookshelves and storage units
I
around you?
I think so. I want to move this desk. I want to
Mhm.
turn it and put it against that wall. The problem is this is the most crooked room in our house. Like
Mhm.
it's got a slope.
Uh-huh.
So, and it's also very heavy. And I think Dave's going to be like, are you sure you want it over there?
Mm.
When he puts furniture down, he's set. We're living in a new house. It's not the case for me because I need this room to have lots of space. It's feeling just very full and not how I want it to feel.
Yeah.
And by doing that, it's going to open up a lot of floor space up here that's being wasted.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. But I have a closet full of plastic bins with like art journaling, and I have a cupboard out there in the hall, which is more like a landing. I really love the upstairs of this house. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it's an old cupboard and it's got all my Longaberger baskets everywhere. And I'm going to start filling those baskets with stuff that's in the bins so that I can actually see it and use it instead of going, oh, it's in there.
Yeah. Think
So,
zones too. That helps me in my craft room.
yes, that's kind of this room right now because I have this beautiful little sitting area there with my favorite chairs,
Yeah.
and they're just full of stuff at the moment.
Yeah. You need your relax and create zone. You need your desk zone where you're doing, looking up Ravelry patterns or yeah, just I love a good desk with your
Yes,
computer, laptop on it, and you need your area for knitting and spinning.
my
Maybe make
spinning wheel's over there.
yeah, okay, your spinning zone needs to have like a basket with your wool ready to go.
Yes. Yes. So actually my desk, once we are considering making, I think we've talked about this, the mudroom into my studio, my dye studio, in which case all of my computer that will be in the studio because that's where I would use it. Right now, if you saw how many times I come upstairs to print a label, to print my identification bands for my, I'm not
Yep.
kidding you, 10 times a day.
Yeah, that's got to be fixed. You got to take a minute to fix that problem.
So I dye yarn within 4 spaces, which is absurd, absurd. So I want the printer for now is going to go in the sunroom because that's one of my spaces,
Mhm.
just to stop this constant. It's not the walking up and down the stairs. Like that's good for me. I don't love it a million times a day, but it's not a bad thing.
Right.
But I'm wasting so much valuable time that I need to be dyeing yarn. And let's go into the next thing, fabric.
Okay, yes.
So it's so hard as um a producer of things to not be able to produce something someone wants. I feel like I'm missing so many opportunities and I've had to do a lot of head work with so you can only do what you can do right now. Like
Mhm.
trying to allow myself time and space. So your timing yesterday was perfect. Perfect. It really was. Never
I
done.
felt so bad. I was
I'll
like,
never
I am
feel
getting
that.
so many texts from people.
Yes. So Rachel yesterday said, I don't want to ask you this, but do you have any kind of a timeline? And my biggest hurdle, which is so absurd, but it speaks to like my personality. My
Mhm.
biggest hurdle is I have no fabric to dye right now. So when the whim comes and it feels good, there it is. So your text made me say, Sue, you're ridiculous. Just because I didn't know where all my paperwork was. I didn't know the codes for all the yarn, all the fabric. I
Yeah,
didn't want to look them all up. I didn't have
yeah,
time for that. So I called and I said, I recently moved and I feel so bad. I don't have any of the numbers.
yeah,
And the girl was like, oh, no problem. Just tell me what you need.
yeah.
'Cause I think another time they were like, well, this is the number for that. And I'm like, oh, I need to start remembering these. I'm being really irresponsible. So we're going to keep it simple. I ordered 36, 40, 16, and 20. Did you say 16 and 20 or
All right.
18?
I don't remember. I
I don't.
said six. I think I said 16, or I said 16 and 18, or I said 18 and 20.
Okay. I don't know I definitely got 20.
Yeah.
Can't remember the other one. Might have been 16, but I feel like people love 16 too.
Yes,
I'm not worried.
definitely. No.
And I'm going to start really, really slow. Just you're the only one getting it at this point, like to then sell. Um, and I'm just going to start slow, see how it feels. I have to get used to the hardest piece is getting used to the workspace, which I'm just getting there with the knitting or the yarn. And I'm just getting semi efficient for what I'm working with.
Mm-hmm.
So we talked about it yesterday on the podcast. They said Chelsea has never been part of that process, so I will pull her into that. I'm
Mm-hmm.
hoping she's going to press while I dye.
Mm-hmm.
So Yes, it's coming. I'm starting with the colors that are on demand and we'll slowly grow it, just like the yarn business.
Hmm.
Like
Yeah.
I just have to slowly get back to a spot. Um, and then of course we've got Advent swooping in.
Yeah. So if we could clone Sue, that would be excellent. So
Yes.
what's the status of your, I made me think you had mentioned somebody was going to come and look at the electrical and
Yes.
how'd
So
that go?
we're wait. It hasn't come. He hasn't come yet. He's a younger guy that has worked on our neighbor's house. They have a house older than ours. Might have been part of the whole compound. Like her partners, I think she grew up around here. So I'm dying to have them over. And because I want to hear history, I'm kind of feeling like you, like, can you
Mhm.
tell me a little about the house and what was it, who were the people and what were they
Yeah.
like? And so they've been redoing their whole house. It looks,
Mm,
it's my favorite on this. Well, it's one of my favorites on the street.
mm,
And they're fantastic neighbors. So Dave called him. He's got us on the list to come out and at least look. He does everything but plumbing, but I think he'll know enough to know if it's how that's going to work to get the plumbing
mhm.
out there.
Yeah. And he'll know a plumber you should call.
Yes, I think so. I believe he will. So I'm going to just put it out there. I know it's going to happen because I can see it. And
Hmm.
anytime I can see something,
Yeah.
I'm literally in my head already working out there.
For those of you who aren't familiar, Sue has a really cool Vermont, you always call it a Vermont entry?
Oh, mudroom. Yeah, it's an
A
original.
Vermont mudroom. It's huge though. It
It's
looks
huge.
big.
It's twice the size of my studio back in Connecticut. I would say about twice the size, which that was tiny. So that's not making it a huge space. It's already got my all my dyes are out there, all my yarn is out there. Um, so yeah, it needs work. I mean, it's going to be building a room. So
Mhm.
we'll
That
see.
would be amazing. It's going to happen.
It's going to happen. I can feel it in my bones. If if we're going to continue this for any amount of years,
Hmm.
I would give it, I don't know. I don't know, five. I don't know. I don't know if Chelsea will,
Yeah, you don't
and
need to know.
I don't need to know, but for now, and the part that's really obvious, and even for Dave, it's like our house is being taken over by this business.
Yeah.
And it's like right now, I took down the studio. I have to put it up and down every Sunday. And then usually Thursday or Friday, I take it down just for a breather.
Hmm.
Pain in the neck, takes a lot of energy.
Yeah.
And I think he's getting tired of walking around it, which
Yeah,
is,
I would think.
and I should not be dying in my kitchen. It's just not good.
Mm-mm.
Just don't
No.
do that. The kitchen is huge,
Yeah.
huge. But if it wasn't,
Mm-mm.
yeah.
Yeah. So a little more patience, but the fabric
Yes.
has been ordered and we're
Yes.
excited, especially for the Teresa Kogut new stuff
Yes.
from Market, those
That
colorways.
piece, I feel so bad that designers have used it and now I don't have it available. That's like eating away at me. And so that's the goal is to
Mhm.
start very slowly, get you. I ordered a bolt of everything, which in the big scheme is not a lot, but it's going to be enough to start filling the gap and then we'll keep reordering and I'll do the best I can. And
Yeah, so make sure you're on my newsletter and you watch Floss Toss. That helps. But the newsletter, when it goes live, I will send out. So to get on my newsletter, just go to treehousefiberarts.com and you'll see on the homepage, sign up for my newsletter. And I think an annoying pop-up will eventually come too when you're perusing my website. So
yeah,
yeah, and if you have any troubles, you can always email me. I can put you on the newsletter too. I'm happy to do that. Rachel at treehousefiberarts.com.
yeah. Yeah,
So
I'm
thank you.
really, really excited about it. And I feel like I'm just gonna take it really slow. I'm not gonna get into a frenetic, like my
Mhm.
goal through all of this rebuilding is just to be patient with myself and do it slow. And
Yeah.
mean, the yarn shop is finally back up 100% and it's amazing.
It really is. And it's because you took it slow with your process and getting things done the right way.
Yes.
You
Yes.
just want quality stuff coming out and
Yes.
you want to do it the right way.
Yeah.
Well, I have a fun thing that I have two fun things that I just recently got. Maybe this one will help you in your shop a little. I'm trying to
Oh,
do a transition. I got, oh, I guess I can pan over. My brother, he works for Social Security, the Social
oh,
Security office here in town,
good
and
to
they are
know.
downsizing and they had all this office equipment they needed to get rid of for free. So he sent me a text with a picture and I'm like, I will take that file cabinet.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
all of my charts are in the file cabinet so I
I
can start.
noticed you had a file cabinet
Yeah.
the last time.
Yes, yeah. So the file cabinet, and I had all of this open space here with nothing on it and for magnets. So I got on Amazon these magnet hooks. They're so strong. And
Love
of
them.
course, it's a bizarre name of a company. I'll put the link to this particular one because it's so strong and works so well. And the hook actually comes off. But it's a fun way for me to like hang. Gosh, I could hang floss from there now if I wanted.
Yes.
I don't know. And this came in a 10 pack, but you could get like a 50 pack. It was like really cool. So I these hooks are my favorite thing of the
Love
week,
it.
I think. And the other, well,
I have a favorite thing.
this is my really favorite. I'm part of the quarterly subscription box for Archer and Olive. That is my little
What is Archer and Olive? Why do I know
um,
this?
what is Archer and Olive?
No,
It is
sorry.
an amazing journaling company.
Oh, God.
Yes, and they have amazing books and paper and whatnot. And Archer and Olive's quarterly subscription box. This is my like little gift to myself every four. And I buy. This is not like an Archer and Olive sponsored video here on Floss.
Yeah.
The kit came yesterday and I'm blown away by the contents. It's such a good deal. Archerandolive.com. When you go to their website, stuff's pricey, but it's quality stuff. But if you're part of the subscription box, you get a major steal. This month's box, the topic or the concept was notes from nature. And everything about it, I mean, you open it up, everything is just it's beautifully boxed up. Now, I'm going to show you what was inside, some of the things that were inside of my box. So it always has some sort of like washi tape. So these are the washi tapes that came in their wide washi. Some of them are very collage inspired. This one is just different. Like I can cut them and they're different lists and I don't know. They all have a function or a purpose to them. And they also always have some of their markers. These are their paint pen markers. They call them acrylographs and they are beautiful on their paper. And they had a really pretty sticker set for the journaling and this really cool acrylic ruler it fits perfectly with their dot grid journals in the centimeters. So it's everything about their accoutrements are perfect for their journals and working in them. But oh my gosh, the journals this month.
So
Before I
you
get
get a
to the journals,
journal every month?
you get two. This month I got three.
You
But
get
it
this every
also
month?
every 4 months. It's quarterly, so every 3 months. My very first
You're gonna love it.
fountain pen, and it's heavy and really nice. And it came with three inks, and these inks, look at the colors. They're really pretty colors in blue. But it's my first time using a fountain pen and
I
dipping
had
the
one.
cartridge in the ink. It was, yeah. And they have videos how to do it on their Archer and Olive YouTube channel. And if you go to Archer and Olive's YouTube channel, they do an unboxing. But oh my gosh, the journals this month. So this one, all of their journals, I'm probably preaching to the choir here, but in the back of the journal, there's an envelope that you can put stuff in, but their paper is really a nice weight. You can watercolor on it and it won't seep through. But this is a dot grid journal.
So envious right
It's
now.
always like the beautiful embossed. It's just, oh, so that's just the first, and it's a smaller one. I think, what is this? A6 maybe. I don't know. I don't know
I
the sizes very well.
I do not know enough about.
This one is kind of like I mean, it's this embossed and
I
a
can
faux
feel it.
leather, and it's got deckled. You know how it's like the deckled edge? How am I going to show that? It's beautiful. And the paper is this cream color dot grid with a deckled edge. It almost looks like they tore the paper,
I love that.
you know? And it has the envelope in the back and then a nature notes journal. It's this faux leather that as you use it, it gets more and more soft, but it has this really cool tie that just you pull, but and in it is this beautiful, it's like craft paper for I love their journals. But this month's to me was over the top crazy, and I
Oh,
had to share.
over the top. And so, what do you use your journals for?
So I have this is for my shop. I have a journal, and I happen to have a picture of a storefront. So this is the Treehouse Fiber Arts journal. I write in all my orders and notes, ideas, to-dos for the day. I love having that here. And then for my Treehouse Fiber Arts podcast, I got this journal in a kit once or in a subscription box, and it's got a little tree. It looks like a house in the trees. And I was like, okay, that's my Treehouse Fiber Arts journal where it's my podcast notes that I use. And then, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I have a journal by my where I sit and stitch because if I see something or hear something on TV,
Want to keep
I have a
notes?
journal for genealogy that I just keep by my side when I learn things about people. That one I'm kind of doing the way where you make an index and
Mhm.
then you number all the pages like a bullet journal or a real Bujo kind of thing. Because I'm doing different people within the family, I want to be able to find great Aunt Edna real fast, and I have it on an index. But that's honestly, I know I was like, what am I going to use all these journals for? I don't know. I just
That's the main thing I want to get out of my closet is that kind of stuff. I know I love, okay, so you know what I would use that for? I wouldn't, but in my dream world,
yeah,
I would use that for my gardening. And
that's
I
I
would
think
use
what they
it
want you to do.
because I have a clean slate here and I'm so excited about like
Yeah.
nothing wild and crazy, very simple. But then I would want to do watercolors in it of flowers.
And they have a special watercolor paper too, journal, just for watercolors
I
that
have
came out.
one of those that I got in Italy that's in there that I've never used because it's just too nice. It's
When the
re
weather gets good, I know I'm going to want to get my watercolors out again and my jelly plate too and do some more paper stuff on that. But
it's so weird because I envision myself here outside with an easel, like a gorgeous wood easel, doing oil paints in the summer.
yeah, you mentioned the oil paint. You need to get on that if you can
You
find
know
the
what
time.
it is? Again, because it's been so long, I am not familiar with so many of the processes and materials, and they've changed.
Oh, I'm sure.
They've
Yeah.
changed. So, you know what I have to do? I've got to get on YouTube and just watch. Like
Mhm.
I think one of the places I used to buy from in Connecticut has like a YouTube channel that shows you how to use their products. And it's like, again, I'm always wanting to do, not watch, not
Oh,
stop. So, but I'm craving painting the girls with the chickens,
yeah, that would be so fun.
craving it.
When the
So
weather gets better, you're going to want to be outside and doing that kind of thing.
I know. And then I've got the beautiful barn, and oh, there's just so much here that's inspiring. And
Oh,
there's something about being here. I love being outside here. And I
yeah.
have a beautiful property in Connecticut.
Hmm.
There's something about this. It's different. It feels different. And I just
Yeah.
want to be outside.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
Yeah. I mean, our hobbies, my hobbies are definitely cyclical. Like I know I can't wait to get into my back to my painting and practicing that a little bit. Okay, a little bit of shop news.
Okay, tell me.
I
It's-
have decided
oh,
I'm going to do kits of the week, and I have two kits of the week in the shop right now that are 20% off. And I thought kind of timely. I have Egg Collector by Teresa Kogut
oh, I
with
love that.
all of the floss, 20% off. I know it's so cute. I love this. Every time I see somebody finish it, I'm like, oh, I just
And I'm
want it in the house.
Can I tell you, I am craving, I have nothing for spring, and I want spring all over my house.
Yeah, well, this is spring. I love that pink of the dress. That would make me so happy. And you
Oh,
don't have to write spring there. You could put your last name or I don't know,
yeah,
anything, nothing. Don't
nothing.
put it there. Make this a little
For the
bigger and
year,
longer.
the
Put
year
the
that you did
year.
it in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, just a thought. And then the other one, I love this one, Wilhelmina, and I thought that would be so pretty framed with a crocheted border.
Yes, ideal.
Yeah. Wilhelmina, all the great floss. This one has some beautiful classic color works as well as DMC. So 20% off in the shop. Also, I heard you all about the Blackwing pencils. This is how my little sampler kit comes. In it are six different styles of Blackwing in the volumes. And I don't know, I'll open it because it's just
I didn't know you sent Justin those.
yes, because Natalie bought those for
Oh,
him.
nice.
I know. It was so fun. I was
Oh,
I
nice.
was putting the order together. I'm like, is that our Justin? I was like, oh my gosh, it is.
It's
Yeah,
so
so
nice.
these are the pencils that are in it. And I have a link in my listing that says which pencils they are. And if you're like me, you like to learn about each pencil because knowing the context makes these even more special.
Yeah.
Understanding what they're supposed to represent or emulate and understanding how they're different. Each of these has a unique lead to it that's good for different purposes. And each of them has a different, I think that's called a ferrule, different color, gold, copper, rose gold, silver. Each one has a different color eraser. So, and each one has an amazing backstory. I mean, some of them are less
Oh,
amazing than others, but interesting, just interesting where they're coming up with these. So they're in the shop, six of them, and I'm just going to keep making these kind of samplers occasionally as I,
I think it's really smart.
yeah.
Justin
And then I
was,
also have on order more the sharpeners are selling like crazy. And I agree, they're great. It's a great sharpener. I have one at every desk.
I gotta
And
find mine.
just make sure you empty them more often than you think because
Yeah.
it doesn't hold that much sharpener. I don't know. The way it sharpens, it's two-step in one. First, it makes this really great. First, it does the wood. And if you look at the wood, see how it looks you see where the wood meets the pencil? It's what do you call that? Like not Pico.
Jagged, just, yeah.
Isn't that pretty? I mean, it makes this pretty edging and then it makes the point just perfect. So, yeah, so those are in the shop. And ooh, also, I got the
Oh,
new punch needle and primitive stitcher for spring. Lots of great spring punch needles in there. Oh, this is
oh,
just so great for punch needle. But just to share a few of
oh.
I loved this one
I'm just
for stitching.
craving,
Wouldn't that
raving.
be nice to have I love the idea of tucking my scissor inside my pin cushion.
Yep.
That's a neat idea. And the other thing I wanted to mention is if you wanted to try Blackwing and try also their awesome notebooks, they come with a mini Blackwing, and this is one of my favorites. This is the Pearl in a shorter version. So, I mean,
What
this is
is this
I have one of
three?
these by my, in my oh, what do you call it? In my project bag near my where I sit.
Mm-hmm.
And this one happens to be the kind that have no dots. It's just plain so I can draw in it or whatever I want to do. But yeah, they're nice little notebooks.
It is.
I'm about the notebooks, clearly. So yeah, I think those were the main things I just wanted to mention. Yes, in the shop, it's hopping around here.
It's hopping. We're hopping too. Holy cow.
Yes, you are.
It's
I
good.
Yeah, you've got some new chicken colorways.
I do. They're still up here if we want to show them.
Yeah, I want to see
Love
them.
to show you.
Because you were showing them on the Periscope this morning on Instagram, and I don't know, I was doing something else and I couldn't see them.
They're super fun. I, s- I just had like a really off week as far as energy levels and like just feeling. I think last week was crazy. And you just really need to recoup and your brain needs like to rest from constantly coming up with colors. And we come up with a lot of new colorways. That's not really typical of all dyers.
Mhm.
Um, Kind of we're our own worst enemy in that area. But so I started, I was like, oh, I don't have it in me. I just can't come up with anything. And the next day I woke up saying, you know what, it's going to be a short day. I just need to stop for the rest of the week.
Mhm.
And all of a sudden they came. Like, and that's all I did was that's what I used to do in Connecticut was just design colors one day because it's extremely draining. It sounds really like I'm such a baby, but it is so draining.
Mhm.
And it's enough just to come up with them. And then you sit back and go, now I just have to pump them out. And it's a
Mhm.
whole different thing. So, anyways,
Mhm.
Chelsea has chickens. She loves her chickens. The girls love the chickens. This is Ruthie.
Oh,
I
oh,
know,
I
very
love
different.
that.
Very different.
It is very different. I love that.
Yeah, it's very different. I really like it. I wasn't sure.
Oh my gosh, I love that, Sue.
I do
We're gonna
too.
have to talk.
Yeah. So Ruthie is very fresh. So all her chickens are named after very strong women, which I
Mhm.
love that. So Ruthie, then who's Shelly? Shelly, who would Shelly be? I love
Oh
Shelly.
my gosh, Sue, these are beautiful.
Thank you.
It almost looks like an egg, like eggshell blue with
Well,
it.
and this is the color of her eggs.
Oh
Who
my
would Shelly be?
gosh.
Yeah. So these are the colors of their eggs.
No,
Yeah.
I love these.
Yeah, I do too. I'm really happy with them.
I'm so glad I made you show them just now
Yeah.
because I wasn't paying attention earlier. Oh
These
my.
are all like I either dye in pans and put them in the oven or dye them individually on burners. These really I also go in moods. Like all of a sudden I'm doing burner dyeing again a lot. It takes the same amount of time,
Mhm.
but a different amount of physical work.
Hmm.
It's very interesting. But these are so specific that if I throw them in the oven,
I love these.
Golden Girls. Because she has
Oh,
two that are the Golden Girls.
oh gosh.
I
I
know.
love these.
So they're all sock sets. I'm super happy with them. And these probably will be the last brand new colors in a little while. I say that, I'll change my mind because I also have some more book ones to do because we're doing the book collection.
And all the advents.
Yeah,
Wah, wah, wah.
do it. You know what it is? I have to just start.
Yeah,
Start, I'm fine, but the anticipation
it's right.
and the
Just
numbers.
like, what else did you say? Oh, calling to place the order for the linens. It was harder to like
Oh,
think about doing it than just
yes,
calling and saying, I have no information. Can you just,
what I need. I need it
yeah,
now. So
right.
there. And
And
then
they're
I have
fine
to
with that.
memorize my zip code again. I have it memorized, but I'm like, I don't trust myself. So I'm like, oh shoot,
Oh
I got to
my
find a piece of paper with that on it.
Well, sometimes I just draw blank, like the pressure to tell the person all my information, and then I
Oh,
can't remember my phone number, and I look
yes.
like I have dementia or
Yeah.
something already.
I write it all down ahead of time for that reason. It's like I
Yeah,
write down my phone number, the address, because that's new, even though I know it,
yeah,
no problem.
right.
The
I
city I
signed
live
something
in.
where, oh, when we were on the yarn crawl in Portland, every yarn store you went into, there was an iPad or a computer that you had to log in for the giveaways, and I kept using my maiden name. I was just like, what in the world?
I know, I know, I know. I think it's I don't know. I don't
I
know.
think it's bad is what it is, and it's really frustrating. But oh, those are gorgeous. I'm gonna need some of those.
Well, we'll talk because we can
Yeah,
do swaps or
we
something.
need to.
We need to.
I know, big
I'm
time.
good with whatever.
Well, I
Um,
think that's it, right? I think we're good, and I think we've shared a lot more than I thought in this episode. So I hope you guys enjoyed spending time with us. This was fun to catch up with Sue
it
and
was
you all.
good to.
And let us know what you're working on down below and anything, any genre of craft. We're curious what's happening in your next couple of weeks.
Yes, I love that people are branching out in this community and doing,
Hmm.
although I think a lot of them already were knitters and are going
Yes.
back, which that is something we definitely do. Like we cycle back. Like one of
Yes.
these times we're going to be spinning like crazy
Oh, I guarantee
because
because I
it's
just pulled
spring.
out my electric e-wheel and I dusted off my Ashford Kiwi.
I want to buy a really good electric wheel.
So do I. Can we get a deal for two? Because I would like the Hanson or the Daedalus even.
I'll trust whatever you think is good because I don't know enough about any of them, but
Well, I look at all the wood ones and think, oh, that'd be perfect, beautiful. But then I see Daedalus, which is this like they're high tech. They're at like New York Sheep and Wool. I don't know. We need to start investigating.
okay, so maybe at Vermont Sheep and Wool, we could find one and buy one and then play with it for the rest of the time you're here.
I wonder if they'll be there. I wonder if they go there.
I would think so.
I would think so too. Okay, that's a great idea. They can have our machines all ready and prepped for us. And then we'll be a spinning podcast.
Oh my gosh.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
Very good. Well, like and subscribe. Please subscribe. We'd love to see you subscribe. We'd love to see you like. If you don't like us,
Keep
then yeah, move along.
along.
All right. Well, thanks. We'll see you in a couple weeks.
We'll be back.
Okay. Bye.